We're starting the holiday season this week. Thanksgiving is on Thursday, and this is the time of year we like to be around our loved ones. But there are some we don't know what their loved ones are. More than 3,000 young people, as of October 31st, went missing in New York City this year, and they were between the ages of 10 and 17. Most of them were eventually accounted for, but there are some that remain missing. And I told you the story a couple of years ago, just before Christmas 2017, about Kimberli Amaya of Flushing. She had come from El Salvador a few years before that to be with her mother and younger siblings, and then she vanished on her way to school. I'm going to show you the piece I did then and then give you a little bit of an update on the case. Kimberli's mother's here with me tonight. At Christmas time, Maria Amaya always took her teen daughter, Kimberli, and two youngest children to Rockefeller Center.
She loved to go to Christmas tree at the city. I don't feel like I want to go.
On September 29th, 16-year-old Kimberli vanished from Ash Avenue in Flushing. She'd come to Queens 3 years ago from El Salvador. Less than a month into 9th grade, Kimberli was on her way to Veritas Academy on Northern Boulevard, 10 blocks from home.
The police say, oh, she's run away. Give it time. She wants to back. But it's almost 3 months already.
I feel she ran away. To me, she could have got kidnapped.
A school friend offered another clue.
She said Kimberli met somebody on internet. It's an old people.
I heard that before school, she was planning to meet someone that she met online.
41-year-old Maria Amaya has already known a life of pain. She says a wealthy man she worked for in El Salvador raped her when she was 13, and she escaped to the streets.
I had to do a couple times. I had to be with somebody just to have something to eat.
Amaya left a first child with her parents in El Salvador, but Kimberli was born in Queens. Amaya said her own aunt essentially sold her to Kimberli's father, who was arrested when doctors noticed Amaya had been beaten. The aunt bailed him out.
They want to take my baby away. And then just say, okay, now you have to get out from my house.
Amaya sent Kimberli to El Salvador to grow up with her first daughter, Tatiana. Amaya was getting set to bring both girls to the U.S. when tragedy struck the oldest in the form of a bug bite.
That weekend, she passed away. And now it's Kimberli.
The family lives in a cramped one-bedroom with bunk beds, and Kimberli's remains the way she left it. 8-year-old Alex remembered a fun moment with Kimberli at the beach.
A big wave came. I could have grabbed on tight, and then suddenly my face flew out in the water.
But the laughter has been muted since Kimberli disappeared. 7-year-old Kayla begged her mom for some holiday spirit.
Please put the Christmas tree and the decorations on.
So the mother did, even as Kimberli's missing poster remains on the apartment door. Kimberli's mother told us she saw surveillance from a camera here in front of their building on Ash Avenue that showed her daughter leaving the building on the morning she vanished. What happened to Kimberli next?
Oh, what I want to know. My daughter is alive. I just want to have a Christmas thinking my daughter is alive.
Now, Kimberli's mother is joining us tonight in the Pix 11 Social Media Center, and she received a phone call recently that indicates that Kimberli is indeed alive. I'd like to thank you for coming in, Maria Magdalena Amaya. You were getting emotional watching that piece. It sort of went over some of the hardships in your life.
Especially for my child. When she called me, it's like it break me. I was with medicine and I was sleeping.
You were taking medicine?
Yeah, I have my pressure getting up.
Depression or your blood pressure?
No, but blood pressure.
Your blood pressure, yeah.
Yeah.
So Kimberli called you in September?
Yes, around. Yes.
September, and this was right after her 18th birthday.
Yes.
So is that the reason she called? Tell me what she said to you and if you were surprised.
It was, my son told me I was sleeping on the sofa, and then Alex told me, Magda, somebody's calling you. And then I told him, answer. And then he said, no, it's a blocked number. It didn't show it.
It was a blocked number?
Yes. And then I told her, okay, forget it. But she called back again, and then I say, hello. And then when she say hello, I know it's Kimberli because I know her voice.
You know her voice.
So, and then you? And then she say, yes, me. who are you? I wasn't believing. I was thinking I am dreaming.
You thought you were dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I said, then she said, do you forget me? You didn't know who I am? No. I said, no, yes, I can't believe it. And then my first question is, what are you? And then she said, I don't have to let you know where I am.
She said she did not have to let you know.
Yes.
And did you ask her why she didn't have to let you know?
No, I tell her, with who you are, what you doing. And then she say, I don't calling you to tell you where I am or with who I am. I just calling you to tell you I am 18 years old and I can do whatever I want.
Did she sound like she was under any stress?
No, she
She
sounds
didn't.
happy.
She sounded happy.
Yes.
So you don't think that she was picked up on the way to school? You don't think that she was trafficked in any way? You think she left voluntarily?
Now, yes.
Now you do.
Yeah.
But the night that you started putting out posters, over 2 years ago, you got a call that night from Kimberli, and it was a different kind of phone call.
Yes, it is.
And what happened that night? That was in September of 2017.
When she called me, she was crying a lot. And then she just told me, stop looking for me because I don't want to come back home no matter what. And
Did you feel that someone was forcing her to say that?
I was thinking she didn't have for what to cry because she was crying a lot. And in my position, I think is I just run away from my house where I am not supposed to happy. Am I supposed to be happy because I am out already? So she didn't have excuse to cry, but she was crying a lot, and that is why I was thinking something like that is happened to her.
You thought someone kidnapped her
Yes.
and took her against her will. And you know, she's a tiny girl. There's the poster. This poster is still on the website for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Even though you say that Kimberli called you and said she's okay, she is still considered a missing person, a missing young person, because she has not gone to police to say that she's all right.
Yes.
And you contacted the police after this phone
Yes,
call.
yes.
And what did the police say to you?
Nothing.
But they said they're not going to take her off the missing site.
They told me, and the missing person, they told me that the poster going to be there until she show up to let everybody know she is really okay, she's alive, she's free or something like that.
Right, and she was a very petite lady.
Yes.
What, about 4'6" or 4'8" and 95
4'6".
pounds?
Yes.
4'6". That's
Yeah.
very tiny.
Yeah, tiny than me a little bit.
She's tiny like you, so it would be easy to kind of capture her if someone wanted to take her.
Yes.
And there's always concern in this day and age about vulnerable young women, especially teenagers. When I did a story on trafficking, one of the experts said to me that 14 was the most dangerous age because girls are very vulnerable then. They're malleable. So, you know, someone could have sort of tricked your daughter too. There's always that possibility.
Yes, it is. What happened is after she called me, the next day she called my sister.
Yes.
And next day after, she called one of my brothers, and she told them she's alive. She just don't want anybody know where she is,
Yes.
and that is all.
And she said something about being in the household. She had lived a bunch of years in El Salvador with your mother, and then she had to adjust to life in New York when she was about 13, and she had lost her sister, her older
Yes.
sister.
Yeah.
So she had a lot of adjustments in her life, and maybe it was too much for her to manage.
Maybe. What my sister told me, my daughter told her, she wasn't happy in my house. It's like I tell her, but why? I always tell my daughter, if you want to tell me something, make a post-it, place by the door, by the window, in the bathroom. I'm going to find it, and maybe in the moment I didn't like it. Maybe I'm going to screaming because I am screaming for natural, but then we can talk. But she never told me she's not happy. I mean, we have a problem like, as a teenager and mom.
Teenager and mother, yeah.
But I wasn't thinking it's that bad.
Yeah.
I wasn't. For me, she's my girl. She's
That was the
my
school
daughter.
she went to, was Veritas Academy.
Veritas Academy, yes.
Yes, by Northern Boulevard and Union Street in Flushing. And I did meet some of her schoolmates. She wasn't there that long, but I did meet some of them, and they said they heard that she might have been meeting a guy, an older man, that she had met online. And that's something that you hear
A
in
lot.
other cases.
A lot, yes.
So it's possible that someone
It's what is
seduced her
happening.
that way and, offered this big lifestyle that really could have been a trick.
I was when I talked with my sister about what happened to Kimberly, she said that, and then she said she lives in the United States, but
Yes.
not in New York.
Your sister said she was living in the United States.
Yes.
And because the phone was blocked, you don't know where she is.
No, I don't know.
Did your sister feel that she was in an okay position? Did she feel that she was safe?
My sister said yes.
She feels she was safe.
Yes.
But she didn't say what she's doing, whether she went to school, whether she was working.
No, I mean, what happened is she called after her 18 years old birthday.
She waited until then.
Yes. So when and then my daughter's supposed to tell my sister she's start to work now and she's going to come back to the school. She told my sister she was at the hospital when she got missing or when she disappeared.
Oh, she went to the hospital,
Yes,
but you don't know.
For 2 weeks.
2
supposed
weeks
to.
she was in a hospital
Yes.
after she disappeared.
Yes.
And you have no idea why she was
No.
in a hospital.
But what this mean tell me is the police doesn't really look for her because at the hospital she's supposed to use her passport.
She should have used her passport?
Yes.
But do you know if it was a New York City hospital that she went
Yes,
to?
she was in. She told my sister it was in New York.
She was in a New York City hospital.
Yes.
All right, maybe the police could check the books there from back then. That was September 2017.
Yes.
People are writing. Julius Bostic is writing. He said, I'm from the South. My mother would pick me up and drop me off whenever I needed to go up until I started driving. So she had a 10-block walk to school.
Yes.
In Flushing. You had 2 younger children. So do you
That-
regret not walking her to school, letting her go by herself?
It's really hard about it's the point what she told my sister. She doesn't feel she's free
She didn't feel free.
in in this country. She say she wants to be free. She doesn't want to. What's supposed to tell my sister? Not to me because she didn't tell me that.
Right.
She don't want to go to the school. She didn't want to be at home. She didn't want to follow rules.
She didn't want to follow rules.
Exactly.
And she was in El Salvador for a bunch of years.
A lot.
So maybe there was a different lifestyle there and she had more freedom. You don't know.
In my country, the life is a little, yes, you have a little more freedom. But actually, when I bring here quickly, then my older daughter, is because she told me she wants to come here because she have problems a lot with my mom, most every day.
She had problems with your mother in El Salvador. One of the viewers is writing, her name is Lynn Gollum Green. She said, the South has just as many children missing as New York City. Children have disappeared from their front lawn in Florida. She's responding to the other gentleman who wrote and said that he would drive his daughter to school until she was able to drive.
It's easy when you have a husband
When
when you have only one child
Yes.
to bring child to the school. In my case, I am a single mom, and I have Alex now is 11 and Kayla is 10. And that time is
They were
9
young,
and
like
7.
9 and 7
So-
back then, right?
And Kimberly is 16 years. I'm sorry. Kimberly
So
is 16 years. She walked to the school because it's like a 9 or 10 blocks from my house.
And it's
to
pretty
Veritas.
busy in
And
that
it's busy-
area of
exactly.
Flushing, right?
So I had to bring my 2 childs at 8 a.m.
Yes.
to elementary school, and she started her school at 8 a.m. too. So, and she's not a bad girl. On that time, she didn't give me an excuse to do not believe on her.
Yeah. Some other people are writing, Trish Medina, I'm sorry you're going through this, Mama, they said. She also said, I
Thanks.
wish your daughter would have a change of heart and come home.
I was talking with my sister, and the thing is, I need to like a police restriction for my child. But Alex next year go to middle school.
He's going to middle school, your other son.
Need, he need to work by himself. But I didn't know where is Kimberly or with who Kimberly is. I need to feel my child is protected.